Bitcoin has enjoyed this incredible run, Matt. As we look ahead now to 2025, 12 months from now, Matt, it's December 2025. We're talking here. Bitcoin is where, Matt? What do you forecast?
It's great to be here. We're going to have the same conversation that Bitcoin has had an incredible run. We expect Bitcoin to be up above $200,000 by this time next year.
And there's a quick excerpt from Bitwise Asset Management CIO saying this time next year, 12 months from now, Bitcoin will be at $200,000. Have you stacked your sats and are you prepared for what's coming? And with that, what's happening, Crypto Crew? Sean's coming back at you, another cryptocurrency video.
Hey guys, sorry for the quick interruption, but if you're interested in trading MicroStrategy options, any other stock out there, Bitcoin, Solana, or any other crypto out there, you can now do that on Mumu. And if you sign up with our affiliate link, which we pin in the comment section, also in the description below, when you sign up and deposit any amount, you're going to receive up to 20 free stocks, and each one of these stocks could be valued at up to $2,000. So make sure to sign up with Mumu. Go get that free money. Now let's go ahead and get back to the video.
And then to get straight into it, with MicroStrategy under 400 today, everyone's thinking one thing: when will we moon again? I spent days analyzing the macro and connecting all the dots. So here's how it's playing out. Shout out to Joseph Betterman for this. And basically what he's saying is we need to establish the no. Saylor has 3 objectives: maximize long-term shareholder value, stack as much Bitcoin as physically possible, and he might have some insider information on the national moves. So basically what he's doing is probably front running something. Saylor seems to be hitting the ATM pretty strong, stacking up the Bitcoin, because there could be a huge wave that's coming for the Bitcoin price action where he knows that he's not going to be able to buy at these prices anymore. So he's stacking up as fast as he can. So people need to calm down. Calm down for, he's hitting the ATM too hard, they're suppressing the price and it's dilution and all this stuff. Yeah, so it's the other way too. When the price shoots up, then you're cheering and happy, but that's because it's going up so volatile because of the Bitcoin that he's bought. So this is the process. You gotta be patient, people. We're still in an uptrend. The bull market's still here. Things are still intact. But what else? Let's look at the Bitcoin cycles. So basically, Bitcoin doubled from December 16th to January 9th, 19 to 42K. That's from 2020 going into 2021. In 17, Bitcoin went from 5 to 20, much more drawn, less dramatic swings. And then what he's saying, his prediction, gradually climbed to 115K by the end of the year. Now, what's major catalysts that are coming up? NASDAQ allocation massive 2.1 billion. That's the QQQ inclusion that we've been talking about on the channel. This starts December 23rd. And then the Trump inauguration, January 20th, about a month later. Possible reserve announcement or first 100-day move. So if Trump gets in on day 1 and makes an announcement, that's going to cause Bitcoin to go parabolic. So maybe he's front running that announcement and also the QQQ inclusion. And then other nation states and companies aren't waiting. They're doing the MicroStrategy playbook. If you don't get it and see what's going on, then you're just lost in the sauce. And then tomorrow, we got a rate cut coming. It's coming in at 0.25 basis points coming down. That's what's projected. That's sort of like priced. It's not priced in yet. So could we see that FOMC rate cut announcement be the spark that ignites this run over the next few months? And finally, let's analyze the MicroStrategy setup. There's about 7.6 billion in ATM that's still remaining, so he can hit the ATM some more. He's been doing it on a weekly basis. We'll see more announcements, most definitely. Averaging $1.9 billion in sales over the last few weeks. Can't get more dry powder until February 5th. So he's going to stop this ATM once this 7.6 billion gets spent. So once February 6th hits, there could be some more allocation, more Bitcoin buying, but there's about a grace period of about 40 days-ish with some bullish announcements, QQQ inclusion. There's a lot that could happen in 40 days with the price action, so I hope you're prepared. And looking where we're at right now, the Bitcoin price chart, could we get this euphoric move going into the next 6 months, going up over $200,000? This looks like the Wall Street cheat sheet almost perfectly. It's almost exactly aligning with this. This looks like it could be Q1, Q2 as far as that peak goes. So once again, we hope you're prepared. Bitcoin at the current time it's recording is sitting bullish, $104,000. The EMAs, the bull market support band, all of the above looks good. We see this symmetrical wedge here. that could give the Bitcoin price target about 123,000 coming out of this. We broke out, we could come back down and retest, maybe down to 102.5 before we get the bump and run continuation pattern. We're not saying that's the peak, but it's definitely a bullish continuation. Everything looks good. Looking at the Gaussian, everything looks healthy here. We that's on the 3-day, flipped green. This is going to start coming up. EMAs are coming up with it. SMLR, this is something that you want to pay attention to because there's maybe some opportunity here. They just had options. There's some option plays that you can get into, but you got to have long dated because you got to give yourself time. Trading this on the short term is too volatile. Who knows? But right here on the 2-week, we see that we are looking pretty bullish. Let's get rid of the Gaussian channel on here. And we see that we're above the bull market support band. The 20 moving average is curling up towards the 250, and the price action is now above all the moving averages. So could this 20 keep rising over the next few months, and could we get this bump up to see previous all-time highs, $143? That's a 2x from where we are right now. Then the next level to pay attention to will be that 1.272 from the fib extensions, the 260 range. So this could be a massive play over the next few months. And if you don't have any of this, they're starting to do the MicroStrategy playbook. So let's do the SMLR MicroStrategy comparison. And right now, we've seen SMLR bleed against MicroStrategy since really the 2020s. And right now, before Michael Saylor did the Bitcoin strategy for MicroStrategy, SMLR was outperforming. So you want to look at the SMLR MicroStrategy comparative because obviously if you're going to put money into it, you want to make sure it outpaces basically the main focal point, that being MicroStrategy. So there is opportunity here. You see this sinusoidal wave. We sort of mirrored this and put this on the on this chart. Now, could we go a little bit lower? It's a possibility, but we are seeing a divergence here. We are seeing a lower low with the price action, and then a higher low with the RSI. So could the RSI cool off and then put another higher low in? Yes, but this price action is showing a bullish divergence. So we could end up seeing a breakout to the upside. If we zoom into this, what do we see as far as potential price targets? So you got to look at the levels of resistance and support. Right here, if we get out our pen, you see we hit our head on this once, quite a few times here, a third time, and if we come back up here, this could take us up to outpace MicroStrategy, anywhere from 25 to about 40% move from where we are right now. So this is the first level to pay attention to. If we break through this, the next level to pay attention to, there's just basically clean air here. Like nothing is happening. We just fell through this like a cliff. So once we get through this level, we'll bump up to this level very quickly. So when that happens, could that happen this cycle? Potentially. If we do go up that high, that'll take us up to outpace MicroStrategy 175% to about 205%. So that's something to pay attention to. Right now, we're above the bull market support band. And if we get rid of the bull market support band, and just look at the moving averages, we see that the 20 moving average is curling and we got back above the 20 moving average. And right now, if we move this out the way, we can see that 50 right now is up to this second level. So if we do run to that 50, it could be somewhere in that range, maybe wick up to there. But right now there is some type of opportunity here. No, not financial advice, but it's something to definitely pay attention to. MicroStrategy price action right now at the current time it's recording is coming in at 386, and the stochastic RSI seems to be resetting, and the RSI seems to be holding this around 49.50 range. We're putting in higher highs and higher lows, consolidating in this pattern. This could be a pennant. This could be some type of right symmetrical triangle. We could just trade in this channel. We could trade into this until January of next year, so next month. This is the 8-hour chart we're looking at here. But, the Gaussian channel, everything looks good here. Let's look at the Gaussian channel. The Gaussian channel, we're still just teetering with the top level, still respecting these support levels. We want to stay above that. We don't want to get below it. We're not too overextended on the moving averages. And then the bull market support band is way down here. So this could start to curl up, and this could cause a continuation pattern. So when you have price action that you just stair stepping your way up, putting in higher highs, and then you stop to consolidate, this typically is a continuation to the upside. So that's what we can see. That's what we see for SMLR, MicroStrategy. Stock Money Lizard is saying that the Bitcoin peak is not in. Bitcoin bros agree. Monthly RSI, we've showed you this. We haven't got back up to this level just yet. This could be happening till the end of 2026. You know, it might not be Q1, Q2 as far as that blow off top goes. A lot of people are getting very bullish for the upcoming benchmarks that we talked about just recently. British HODL is talking about MicroStrategy with their Bitcoin yield netting about $12.28 billion this quarter. See how that compares to other quarterly net incomes from top NASDAQ listed companies. And look at, you notice all these names: Apple, Google, Microsoft, Nvidia, Amazon, Meta, and Tesla. And right now, 12.28, that would put them right below Meta, substantially over Tesla. So if we just look at these two companies, and what can we take from this? What's important to see from this? Tesla, Meta, and Amazon. Amazon's also within reach, 15.3 versus 12.28, few billion off. What's a few billion between friends? And look at the market caps of these companies. Tesla, Meta, Amazon, 1.5 trillion, 1.6 trillion, 2.4 trillion. And MicroStrategy, at the current time of this recording, is only at 94 billion. So to catch up just to this one here with Tesla, you're looking at over a 15x from where we are right now. So once again, taking this price appreciation here, 15x from where we are right now, 385 times 15, you're looking at a $5,700 MicroStrategy price target. Now, we're not saying that's going to happen this cycle. Could this happen over the next year and a half, 2 years, 3 years? Could we have a bear market? Could Bitcoin just be going up because of all these strategic reserves that are happening potentially on a nation level? It's a lot going on, but there's huge opportunities here. You don't want to miss the bag. But right here, one thing to pay attention to, this is a micro play, something that you need to definitely watch over the next few months, because SMLR is starting to do their MicroStrategy playbook. And looking at the CEO and founder of SMLR, Eric Semler, you can see the latest news. They bought some more Bitcoin. So will they start to do this ATM? Will they had options, so that's more passive income flows that will start to generate more buying of Bitcoin. They can raise more funds quicker. So they have over 2,000 Bitcoin. What will this look like a month from now? Will they continue to generate more Bitcoin? That's still to be determined, but either way you cut the cloth, they are definitely something to pay attention to. And once again, if you look at this comparative, the reason this fell off the cliff versus MicroStrategy, this is when MicroStrategy started their Bitcoin acquisition. So could this just be getting ready to round back up and come back and then outpace MicroStrategy because it's a smaller company? This isn't even $1 billion company. So it's something that you need to pay attention to.
Bitcoin has enjoyed this incredible run, Matt. As we look ahead now to 2025, 12 months from now, Matt, you know, it's December 2025. We're talking here. Bitcoin is where, Matt? What do you forecast?
We're going to have, it's great to be here. We're going to have the same conversation that Bitcoin has had an incredible run. We expect Bitcoin to be up above $200,000 by this time next year. There are just three irrepressible sources of demand driving the market. You have ETFs that are vacuuming up Bitcoin. You have public companies like MicroStrategy vacuuming up Bitcoin. And now we're talking about governments vacuuming up Bitcoin. At the end of the day, it comes down to supply and demand. There's too much demand, not enough supply. And so I think the price goes higher in 2025.
I mean, Matt, rarely, though, do you see demand for an asset so sustained over this kind of a time period, right? Does it need new catalysts, or, I mean, is this effectively just a momentum trade with nothing really to stop it?
Well, I think the real story is people just wake up to Bitcoin at different paces. We saw retail investors get there first. We've seen companies and financial advisors get there. We're starting to see institutions get there. And once they realize that Bitcoin's not going away, that it belongs in a portfolio, they have to get off zero, get to 1%. BlackRock now says 2%. So it's just this cascading series of educational breakthroughs that brings new people into the market. Look, Bitcoin is now a global macro asset. It's a few $1 trillion. Pretty much every investor should have some. and we still have a large number of investors to go. That's why I think this is maybe a momentum trade, maybe it's a one-off introduction, but we're still early in that journey. We have many quarters to go.
In terms of potential catalysts, Matt, I got to ask you about Trump and his support for this idea of a Bitcoin strategic reserve, Matt. What do you make of that? What do you think the odds are that actually happens? If it did happen, what would it mean for the price?
Yeah, I'll answer that last one first. If we do get a Bitcoin strategic reserve where the government is buying Bitcoin, and there's a bill from Senator Lummis that had the government buy 1 million Bitcoin, $200,000 Bitcoin is going to be looking quaint. You're going to be looking at $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 Bitcoin. It's just too big a story because governments all around the world would have to do it. When this initial idea was floated, I was somewhat skeptical of it, but over the months, it hasn't gone away. In fact, we continue to see leaders in the Trump administration suggest that they're open to it. I still think, maybe it's less than a 50% chance, but it's not zero. And again, if it happens, or if we start to see it happening in other countries, you're going to see, a rip up in Bitcoin that will make 2024 look pretty docile in comparison.
And one of the other predictions that you have for the coming year is that Coinbase is going to be a big beneficiary here. So big a beneficiary, then it's going to surpass Schwab in terms of a brokerage size. Talk us through how you get from here to there.
Yeah, right now it's about half the size of Charles Schwab, and we think it could reach that and more. Coinbase is this really unique opportunity because there was so much regulatory suppression over the past few years. Coinbase hasn't had major competitors bubbling up to challenge it. It's sort of had a degree of regulatory capture, if you can believe it. And as a result, it's been able to sustain its high margins in brokerages and then layer on things like stable coins, like its layer 2 network base. It's executing extremely well. It has a limited competitive environment, and it's in an industry that's growing 100% year over year. When you add those three things together, you'll see this vault up the spectrum. It'll also help if it gets into the S&P 500 and you see institutions buying it broadly. But I think it's a really unique situation driven by the fact that there was so much regulatory uncertainty. It cleared the competitive path, and now it's going to reap those rewards and build really, maybe an unassailable position leading this industry in the U.S.
And with that, I'm Sean with the Bitcoin Bros. You guys like this content, go ahead and smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and show us some love. We appreciate each and every one of you. And with that, I'm out.